Hey guys, and welcome back. It's been a long time. This is Warhawk here with some World of Tanks, and I have been gone for quite some time. I just started a new job and it's kept me quite busy, so I haven't had much time to get these videos up to you guys, but we're going to try to make up for that today and do something a little bit different. It's been suggested to me that I should do a tank review, and so that's what we're going to do today. First thing I wanted to show you guys is the new 9.0 update. Look at this tank. Look how pretty it is. This is the M103 American Tier 9 heavy tank, and it has gotten an HD overhaul. Look at the detail. We've even got a metal forge stamp here. Everything's high poly count, super sharp. The lighting is a lot better. You can actually see down the barrel now. If you look closely, you can see the rifling in the barrel. There we go. What a gorgeous tank. So sooner or later, I'm hoping to see all of the tanks looking like this. But, speaking of that lighting change, even the older tanks, or the older tank models, look better because of the lighting. Now I'm not sure if it's a completely new engine or just a revamped lighting engine, but whatever they did was a good thing. It's made these tanks look a lot better. So, without further delay, let's get to the tank review. And this is the tank I wanted to review today, the E75 German Tier 9 heavy tank. This tank is a monstrous tank. It is a lot of fun to play, and it is not fun to come up against one to try to fight. It's a very strong tank, a very powerful tank with a very powerful gun, and it actually moves around quite well for being such a heavy tank over here at 92.3 tons. It's huge. That's one of the heaviest tanks in the game. It's even heavier than the British Tier 9 tank destroyer, the Tortoise. It's got it by about 15, almost 20 tons. So, how are we going to do this today? Well, we'll just kind of use this as a checklist, go down here, discuss everything from the armor, to the hit points, to the gun, how it operates, just how the tank operates in general, and then we'll talk about how to defeat the tank if you ever have to come up against one. So, first things first, armor. Look at the numbers. It's got incredible armor. Look at this front plate. 160 millimeters, angled at least 45 degrees. That bounces almost everything that is shot at it. Look how thick it is. On the sides, you have 120 millimeters here, 120 millimeters here. The back, 120 millimeters. Turret, 252 on the front, extremely thick. On the sides, you have 160. On the back, 160 millimeters. Now, all that armor is protecting a generous health pool of 1920 hit points. This tank can get in and take damage. It is meant to brawl, it is meant for close quarters combat, and it is meant to take a punishment and then keep on kicking. As I said, this upper plate will bounce a majority, if not all, shells that people try to fire into it. It is just too strong. It's almost an auto bounce area every time. Also, this front plate here of the turret is incredibly strong. 252 millimeters, that is extremely thick. Now, this is World of Tanks, and it does have a random number generator, so I mean, stuff will still be able to get through here occasionally, especially high penetration tanks like the Death Star, the FV 183 British tank destroyer tier 10. Also, the Jagdpanzer E100, that can get through here and here. But what you'll find most people doing is aiming for your weak spots, which on this tank there are very few frontally. Where people will aim on this tank is right here on this lower plate, because it's not quite as thick as this upper plate, although it is still very thick and will still bounce shots if angled properly. Also, people will shoot here, your commander's hatch, and they will get through there. Still not an easy target. You know, at distance it's pretty small, and it's still pretty heavily armored, still pretty tough. So not you know, auto penetrations every time. So when you're driving this tank, you want to angle it about like that. Point that track, as you see there, kind of towards the enemy. So we, the camera, the enemy, this is how you want to angle that tank. So they have to shoot at that or that. And that effectively makes that armor thicker. It's already slanted, but if you slant it more this way, it makes it thicker across, thicker this way. The tracks on this tank are large, but they do eat a lot of shots. You'll find people trying to shoot in here, and even people shooting in here if you're side scraping from a building or some type of cover. And the tracks, if it doesn't blow them off, they'll just eat it up. It won't do any damage to you. Now let's look at the gun. So this is the top gun for the tank. 128 millimeter or 12.8 centimeter KWK 44 L55. That is a monstrosity of a gun. 246 millimeters of penetration with 490 average damage per shot. That takes a huge chunk out of tanks every time you penetrate. Now, the downsides to the gun. It's not the most accurate, although it's also, you know, not just completely inaccurate like a Russian version. It's very slow firing. You'll fire one shot every about 13.25 seconds with a fully trained crew. And your aim time is 2.9 seconds. This and this all comparable with the T-30's Top Gun. It does fire faster, aiming time's the same, accuracy is about the same. It's a little bit more accurate. So, if we take a look at the research tree here, here's what you'll be dealing with. So you come from the Tiger II, okay, and with the Tiger II, you have to get this top turret, and that's actually what transfers over to the E75. So this top turret is not very strong, as you can see here. 185 millimeters frontally, 80 on the side, 80 on the back. That is what you will start off with in the E75. And if you come from the Tiger, which you will to get this tank, you know that this turret is not very strong. When I played the Tiger II, people were constantly shooting straight through the front of this turret, and that is the most frustrating thing because that's the part of your tank you have to expose to be able to shoot. Now, it's my suggestion, and probably everybody else that plays World of Tanks that has played through this line, you need to get this top gun. Why? Because it's a really good top gun for the Tiger II, but it is needed for the E75's grind. So let's go ahead and switch over here. There's that Tiger II turret. There's the Tiger II's gun. You can mount those immediately. And you'll need this gun on the E75 to make it enjoyable playing it right off the start. Because this gun costs 60, I believe 63,000. Yeah, experience points to research. So it's going to take you a while to get here. You will have this radio from the Tiger II, so you can install it immediately. And the other thing you need to do is research the tracks first. These will allow you to mount everything else you need to on the E75, which first and foremost is going to be this upgraded turret. You're going from Tiger II's turret, which is very weak on paper and in the game, to something that is incredibly strong on paper and in the game. Now, the one downside is it turns a lot slower, also comparable to the T-30 or any other American tank destroyers that are turreted. Your turret will turn extremely slow with this, but if you know how to turn your tank with your turret, it's not a bad thing. you need this armor. So, tracks, turret, and then aim for the gun. And then last is the engine. You will also need this engine because stock engine is only 700 base horsepower, with the top engine going all the way to 900, and this makes a huge difference in this tank. Now, lastly, we kind of touched on it a bit, but if you're facing this tank, if you have no interest in getting this tank, or you're just constantly seeing these on the battlefield, which you will because a lot of people have them, how do you effectively defeat the tank? So skilled E75 drivers know to angle their armor in such a way that makes it harder to get penetrations on their tank. This way or this way. So you'll be shooting at here, you'll be shooting here, and it's just going to bounce and bounce. And of course that turret's going to be looking right at you. So where do you aim for this tank if you're up against it? Well, if you're out in the middle of a field or where he's not got his lower plate hidden behind cover, you want to aim for that lower plate. You can get reliable penetrations through there. It's weaker, but it is not weak. It can still bounce shots, especially if he's got it angled just right or he knows how to kind of wiggle his tank between shots. Also, if he's completely hull down or you can't get reliable shots or penetrations on his lower plate, aim for this commander's hatch right here. You can get reliable penetrations through that too, although that is not quote-unquote weak. It is still a strong commander's hatch and a very strong turret. So this tank is very difficult to fight head on. Now of course, if you're on the side, you can get easy shots through the side plate here because it's flat, not angled at all, and if it is, it's just barely. And then the side of the turret, of course, it's a little bit stronger, 40 more millimeters you have to go through. You can still get through that, through here. Through the back, you see how angled the back is. I have bounced shots off the back of this tank. That's 120 millimeters and it's angled pretty well. So you want to shoot here, or you can aim for the back of his turret. This hatch here is a weak spot. Same thing on this side. Just aim for this flat area or for the side of his turret if he's pointing straight ahead like he is there. Also, I see many people don't know this. Also, if you don't have a good shot on a tank, say he's angled like this and that's hidden and you can't shoot up here for some reason, or you don't have a good shot, aim for right here. That's an armor trap. So anytime I got the side of a tank like this, sometimes I'll aim like that. That round goes in, a lot of times you'll bust his turret ring and he won't be able to turn that turret at you. But when you're head on with a very strong tank that's looking at you like this, and say that's covered up, this is not a bad place to shoot. I mean, you don't want to shoot flat into that because that's strong. But if you shoot here, there's a crack, there's a gap where that turns, you can get rounds through there. And that works for most any tank. It's a hard shot, it's a skillful shot to make, but if you learn how to do it, it'll benefit you in the future. Alright, so the last things we'll look at here before we go out on the field and test this thing out is the view range and the signal range. 400 meters of view range is excellent for a heavy tank. It's got a very good view range. Signal range at 710 meters, still pretty good, that's decent. So, with that being said, we'll check our equipment here. I like to take mainly armor-piercing ammunition out. It does have high penetration at 246 millimeters. With APCR, you go up to 311. So if you really need that, it's good to have, I'll take 5 rounds or so of that. And then HE, high explosive, for stuff, such as artillery or the new German tank destroyer line, which this Nashorn is part of. You just see it's just paper armor. If you get a high explosive shell through that, it does a lot of damage. Not only higher damage, but higher module damage too. Alright, so I believe we've touched on everything. We're going to go ahead and throw it into a battle and see how it does. Alright, Looks like a pretty good battle here. Pretty evenly matched according to XVM. And we are top of the list, which for some reason with the E75 you'll get a lot of that. I seem to be top tier a lot more often than not. So see XVM acting up a little bit there. For some reason the first game you play it always is a little bit slow to load in. Okay, so South Coast, what I like to do is go down here to this beach. Sometimes I'll also go over here on the east side, fight along that side. For the most part, this beach is a good place for me to go. Now, first thing you notice over on the enemy team is that they have 3 artillery pieces, and they're respectable players, and they will be aiming for this tank. Most artillery aims for the E75, especially if you're top of the list. They know it's a dangerous tank, it's a huge target from above, so they really like to shoot at you. Probably the most dangerous thing to this tank is artillery. Huge lag spike there. 9.0 has some lag issues, has had lag issues, has crash issues. I really like the new version, but it does have its flaws and its faults. Okay, so there's an IS-3 back there. Really don't know what that T-43 thinks he's doing, trying to toe-to-toe with an IS-3. And then the SU-152 is just ignorantly rolling up to an IS-6, which I don't understand that either. He like seesawed him there, that was pretty cool. Yeah, you got an E75 rolling on you, buddy. And we put one right through the concrete there to take him out. Okay, I'm going to try to back off here, use this wall to evade the artillery that I guarantee you is aiming in on us. Okay, and then again, oh, we got a BL-10 aiming at us, I'm more than sure. Okay, he's not going to have the shot if he stays there. And you can see how agile this tank is for being so heavy. Oh, there we go. First artillery shot. That artillery's sitting back over here in the corner somewhere. Bastard. Can't stay in artillery. Bounced the ISU and shot right over his hat there. We're gonna reload before he does. He knows it. He's trying to get away. It's not gonna work for you, buddy. Alright, so now we see, oh, there he is. Right as I was about to point at the map, he comes out and shoots me in the lower plate. It's okay. Let's try to roll up here and get a shot on him. Oh, man. I bet he's mad. Ammo racked him first shot. And as you can see there, the new little feature with 9.0 blew his turret off. Man, that was nice. He was probably going to put up a good fight. He's a very, very respectable player. Just bad luck for him. But you can see there, that's where he got his penetration. And the IS-3 has a powerful gun. It does 225 millimeters penetration, 390 average damage. So it's not something that you want to, you know, disrespect or not pay attention to. Okay, so it looks like our next target's going to be a Tiger P up here on this hill. However, artillery is going to be able to shoot at us. T-71 is doing over there. See, we just have a T-34 to back us up, so I'm hoping that this Tiger P will roll down this hill here and face me at this corner, so I got covered from artillery. And he did. Actually, that was artillery. I guess he was going to try shotgun me. I don't know what he was thinking. Okay, there's that Tiger P. Now, if I come around this corner, artillery is going to be able to shoot at me. So, I want to see if this Tiger P will make a mistake. I really don't want to have to deal with artillery. But I also don't want to deal with that Waffentrager coming around there and shoot me in the butt either. So, I'm not going to have the gut impression there. There's that Waffentrager right there. And a T-29. T-71 shooting at us from behind. Okay, so we're going to call for help because we need some backup. Try to use the skeleton as some cover from the T-71 there. Okay, good. Friendly took him out. Excellent. I just heard artillery fire, so let's try to sneak up here and shoot that Waffentrager. Let's go ahead and shoot what we got there. Waffentrager's going to come up and try to take a shot into us. Oh, I just gave him the underplate. Turned too fast. Go ahead and finish him off. He's left us on very low health. Bounce the Tiger P. You see one off the lower plate there. We're going to use this wreckage to shield our lower plate so he can't get an easy penetration. Actually push this guy, he's pretty light. I want to push him out in the open though and get in artillery's effective hit zone though. Now all he's got to do is give us his turret. We'll be able to get through it. Tiger P has a very weak turret. T-29's trying to come up here and do something. Okay, now the only bad thing about this is he's sitting on higher ground now, and so we're not really going to be able to use that. Let's see. T-34, you got more health than me. Get up there, dude. Okay, wasn't fully aimed there. He got a lucky bounce, and see when he came around there, that artillery smoked him. That's what I didn't want to have happen to me. But now that that's happened to him, and that M103, they're pushing the rear on that. Let's try to get up here and take some shots. Going for it. Tiger P gets another lucky bounce. T-34 finishes him off. Let's see if we can get her top gun on the T-29 here.
Gegnerfahrzeug ausgeschaltet.
Easily. Okay, artillery's out of the picture. Only thing left is a T-30. He's on the other side of the map. Almost dead now. Alright, and that is game. That was a nice game for us. Nice teamwork from the team. Go ahead and take a look at the after action stats here. We can see that we did get a mastery badge. We got a top gun, a high caliber, and a steel wall. You will get a lot of steel walls in this tank. You will get a lot of high calibers in this tank as well. So let's look at the list of damage here, see what we did. Of course, we did ammo rack that IS-3, one shot, 1500 health, took him out. The GW Panther died with one shot, of course, being artillery. Took his commander along with it. And then the rest of the tanks took quite a bit of damage. With just 2 hits, you're almost at 1,000 damage, sometimes over it. So looking at the list here, we can see that we're on top as far as damage goes and as far as experience earned goes. We did get 6 kills. Those 3 medals show up there. Some very respectable players on the enemy team too. I'm sure if I didn't take him out in one shot, he would have posed a lot more of a problem towards me. If we go over here to the detailed report, we can see that we fired 11 shots, hit 10, 8 went through. Somehow that Tiger 2, or the Tiger P, excuse me, bounced 2 of my shots. He shouldn't have. But, you know, RNG, what can you say? This is the fun part to look at with this tank. Hits received 12. Penetrations 3. Non-penetrations 9. 9. That is a bunch of shots bounced. A bunch of damage deflected. 2,235 points blocked by the armor. We did a lot of spotting damage too because we pushed our tank to the front line, which is what you want to do with this tank a lot of times, especially if you're top tier. You want to get in there and start fighting as soon as you can. Don't overextend, but get in there and try to do the most damage that you possibly can. So let's go ahead and get into one more here. Okay, top of the list again. Not a very good team, so we'll see how this turns out. Tundra, I like to go up here to this hill over on the 9 and 0 lines. That's where I wouldn't say all heavies, but a lot of heavies like to go and duke it out. Mediums will try to take the hill, sometimes lights. And then your tank destroyers will sit back here and here to cover. It's a pretty cool little combat area. We've got a mountain ahead of us though, for sure.
Los geht's!
You can see how slow that turret turns. It's very, very, very slow. I don't know what that is, but whatever. It's going to take you guys playing at your best to win this one. Okay, you see that ELC MX has gone up to the top of that mountain there. I'm going to try to provide some early spots for us. The one good thing about this match is there is no artillery. I don't know what all these heavies are doing. That Panther 2 paid dearly for trying to go up that hill. Now one thing you don't want to do is come around this rock because of those tank destroyers sitting back there. It is not a good idea.
Feuererlaubnis erteilt! Ziel verloren!
There's 5 tanks sitting over there versus now we've got a pretty good number of tanks sitting over here. Do it AT-15. That's not a good decision. Okay, and we just need to be holding this corner. You can see our team is effectively shooting through that rock. If we rolled over there and shot, then it would give them an opportunity to roll in and shoot at us, but they don't want to roll and get shot by this gun on the E75, which is a good thing. Someone through real quick. Oh, he turned back around. If we were a little bit quicker, we might could have. Okay, see the tank destroyer just hit us from out there? They're watching it, I'm telling you. Okay, that T-34 is going to try to come around. Okay, that was a bad play by me. His track ate that. He was able to get a shot through us. I wasn't side scraping him running. And then he makes a mistake and allows us to get a shot into him. Completely misses us there. We're able to go through his lower plate, and they are able to effectively finish him off. Okay, so now we don't want to go around the edge there because the tank destroyers are still watching that. Those Yag Tigers are probably back there. Oh, the T-28 prototype is. Definitely don't want to get hit by that. He fires, so we're going to go ahead and try to get down below his gun. Let's ram him. That is one thing this tank is excellent for, is ramming opponents. Okay, I don't like how many tanks are encroaching on our base there, so what I'm going to try to do is pull up and over this hill, maybe get a flanking shot or two on this T-28 prototype. He's not really of concern to me right now because I've got cover from him and we've got two tanks rolling in on him that he should be able to deal with. The south side over here though is coming back, so I want to make sure I'm down there to try to help out with that. They ought to be able to take him out just fine. Looks like they've circled him, which is a good tactic against the T-28 prototype. Their turret can't go all the way around 360 degrees, and their sides are also very weak. So you see me taking this path here, is I want to try to cut them off as they try to get to the base. So if they can get in there and cap, they can still win it. But fortunately, our team is doing an excellent job of defending against that. Go in here and try to help put the finishing shot on this IS-8. And the AT-15 does a good job of beating us to it. So now we'll change our course and try to head over here to the Yag Tiger, who was still on full health. There he is there. He's taking a hit from the AT-15. The AT-15's had a seemingly really good game. I'm going to try to ram shot this guy.
Kette wurde getroffen. Sie kann jeden Moment reißen.
We do quite a bit of damage.
Kette beschädigt. Ging nicht durch.
That was a bad shot by me. It's okay though. Have a little bit of fun with this guy. And that is a win when XVM tells us we only had a 39% chance. So Is XVM a good tool? Yes. And you do see me use it in my videos, but you can't fully rely on it. Because I've been on the opposite team that had a 60-70% chance to win and have completely lost it. So, all in all, that wasn't as good a game as our first game, but still a decent game. We did put our gun to work as much as we could. The M103 took quite a bit of damage from us. That one shot that we donked did hit his track, didn't do any damage, so only 2 of those really penetrated. I wish they would redo that to where penetrations were only counted as the ones that actually went in and did damage. Because technically we hit his track, but nothing penetrated the tank. So Yag Tiger took a nice hit from our gun, and then ram damage I think of almost 250. The T-30 was killed by a shot from us, and then I think we rammed him to kill him. And the Yag Panther. No, that's a Panther 2, isn't it? Yeah, Panther 2. We had the kill shot, not the kill shot. We just had a nice shot on him, didn't we? Yeah, 515. So, looking at the damage, looks like the T95 had a good game. I think he set back in that first area at the southeast corner of the map and shot across. He did some good damage, good defending by him. Yag Tiger as well had a good game, and then our AT-15 really did good. It doesn't show on here, but I saw him doing a lot of work. So all in all, a good team that XVM said wasn't a very good team. They all did their job and did, you know, played really well against a team that was on paper good and, you know, statistically pretty good. They had several players that topped the list. You know, half their team did over 1,000 damage. That's a good team too. So it's a good battle. 7 shots fired. We hit all 7. 6 pin. That one on that M103 hit his tracks, didn't go in. Did 2,818 points of damage. And that's a real mediocre game for the E75. I mean, that's kind of low. Our hits received 4, 2 pin, and 2 didn't. So that's half. We bounced half. I'm not sure how that Yag Tiger was able to pin us towards the end. Might have got a lucky shot somewhere. I didn't really look to see where he got through, but blocked 480 points worth of damage. We did do some spotting damage. We spotted, well, we didn't spot any tanks, but damage due to your assistance. I believe that means when you keep them spotted and other enemy or other friendlies are shooting them. I believe that's what that means. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you have learned a little bit about the E75. Maybe saw something in the gameplay that could help you out, and maybe you saw something that I did that you'll choose not to do and be better off for it. I'm definitely not the best player. There are a lot of players better than me at this game, but I've always learned by watching others play, and so hopefully you can do the same. So thank you, guys. Hope you have a good day. I hope this has been helpful to you, and I will definitely see you on the next video.